It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obi Uchendo. Glad to be back with you once again. The year is fast coming to an end. November, I think, is our last show for the month of November. And December is upon us. And the year will be winding down. But hey, it's day 147 of the YASU strike. Nigerian students have been at home for 147 days. Wow. I honestly didn't think we were going to get to this point, but it looks like there's not going to be any resolution to this anytime soon, especially since the death of the professor who was set up in charge of the negotiation between the ASU and government. As it stands, it looks like 2013 is going to go by without students going back to school. I mean, the holidays are almost here. I don't see how they're going to be resuming school around Christmas. But if that happens, why not? I mean, it's only fair that they go back to school as soon as they can, and all of this is resolved. But like I said, it doesn't look like there's going to be a headway anytime soon. So it's 147 days. Like I said, that's a lot of days to spend out of school. People who were even active, or I don't know, how do you get back from that when you go back to school? There's like an entire session that's almost gone as it is. But hopefully government resolves that as soon as they can, and we move forward with all of this. Moving on a bit now to another news that caught our attention during the week. The elections in Anambra State haven't gone so well. There's been a lot of controversies. We hear there's going to be a supplementary election in parts of the state. A lot of candidates have said they're not going to be a part of the supplementary election. Some have called for a cancellation. INEC has said the cancellation will not happen. A resident electoral commissioner has been arrested, I think, and they say he's going to be prosecuted because he was involved in some of the issues that happened around, I think, Idemili North local government. And well, Anambra State does not have a governor-elect, and it looks like, from what INEC says, the supplementary elections will hold on the 30th of November. If that happens, we'll see what happens with the governors or the candidates or aspirants who said they were not going to be a part of it. We'll hope that by the end of this week, all of that will be resolved and everybody makes a headway with this. I mean, it's a state that is very critical to the country. The business nerve center at Newi, Onitsha, those are parts of the country that cannot be sort of troubled. So hopefully we get the resolution to this and we don't get into a constitutional crisis. Another news that caught us during the week, Mr. President went on an official visit to the United Kingdom, and the next day we heard he was in hospital. Speculations around the fact that he wasn't feeling very well, but his spokesperson, Rubbin, did say that he was okay, it was just a regular checkup, and that he was just indisposed. I don't know what that means, but thankfully Mr. President is out of the hospital. He was seen at a few functions yesterday and will be returning to the country today. And hopefully all is well again, and we need him as healthy as he can be so that he tackles all of the problems that we have as a nation. There's way too many pressing issues that we have for him to not be available to deal with them. There's security, there's power, there's the budget that's still not been presented, there's education. So hopefully he's well again. He still has all of a year and a half to go before his first term or his term as president runs out. Welcome back, Mr. President, and hopefully you stay healthy as the months to come approach. Moving on to some sad news, Boko Haram are still doing their thing. We did hear that 12 were killed in parts of Borno State in what is an alleged attack by the Boko Haram sect. We don't know, as usual, who these people are. We never have names, we never have faces, which always makes it very hard to connect with all of these dead people. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and we send our condolences to families there. I keep saying this every time, I don't know what the situation is with the state of emergency. If these deaths are still going on with the state of emergency, it leaves you wondering what then would be the case without all of this. But hopefully our security forces are on top of all of this, and one day maybe we would have answers, and there'll be positive answers. Another very controversial issue that did hit us during the week was the issue of the salary of Stephen Keshi, the coach of the Super Eagles. It was quite strange to hear that he hadn't been paid for 7 months. Then we heard he had been paid for about 2 months out of that, which leaves him with 5 months unpaid. The Minister of Sports came out and wasn't very happy with Keshi, saying that he shouldn't have spoken to the press about it. Something along the lines of, if your employer owes you, you deal with it and keep doing your job, and you don't call a press conference for it. I don't know what that means. It's tough to see how they would see any justification in not paying Stephen Keshi his salaries. The World Cup is fast approaching, and the last thing we need is a distraction from him or for him. The Minister of Sports is assured that he was going to get paid soon, so hopefully that happens, and the Super Eagles move on with their preparations for the World Cup in Brazil in 2014. All of this, of course, is brought to you by whyniger.com. You can visit the website to see all of the news that we have for you there. When we come back, we're going to be tackling a very, very interesting issue: gambling and betting. What are the pros and cons? Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Now, gambling is not necessarily one thing that comes to mind when you think about Nigeria or young Nigerians, but it's something that is definitely growing. There's a sudden love for gambling and betting and all of that. These days, you find pockets of lotto companies, legal or illegal, springing up around the places, and a lot of people that seem to be interested and getting on with it. And we have two young people here who are going to be helping us tackle or talk about this issue. Here with me, Frances Okoye, you're a counselor, you're an actress, but you also worked with a lottery company in the past, Ritual Lotto.
Yes, I did.
So you know the cocoa.
Yes, I do.
Thanks for being here today. And Tobin Naokoli, a business analyst, CEO, Solomon Hunt. Yes. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Gambling seems like a very general word for a lot of things. Is it possible to define it and make sense of it, if you know what I mean? What is gambling? I know it's a very tough, because it seems very broad.
Yeah, it's very vast, because the word gambling encompasses a whole lot of things. So you could say gambling is a game of luck, like throwing a dice to play on luck. So there's so many ways to define gambling. Gambling could be putting in little money to get lots of money. There's so many ways, as in layman ways, not to use the big terms to define it. So that's it basically.
If a lot of us, people think that when you start a business, for example, you're gambling on a lot of things. Where do you draw the line between taking a risk with like business or investments and gambling in the sense of the word of gambling?
Well, it's all, if you talk about taking a risk, it's all gambling. But just so we don't get too generalistic and know what gambling really is about, let me even assist with defining gambling somewhat so we know what we're talking about. Gambling simply is the staking of money or something of value for the issue of a game of chance. So once you stake something of value, typically money, on a game of chance, you're actually gambling.
Okay, so it's basically just trying to, I don't know how you put your money
use little money to get a whole lot. Yes.
Yeah, and there's always a chance of it going wrong. That's when it's
of
gambling.
Course.
Okay. So in Nigeria, I want to, why has it been tough for like a national lottery, for example, to sort of succeed here? Because you find that a lot of these other smaller things happen formally or informally in different places around the country, but the national lottery has come and gone a few times and hasn't succeeded. Sort of. Why is that happening? Why is that a problem?
First of all, you have to look at the system in which the lottery is happening. This is Nigeria, and sorry to say, the system is not really stable. Unlike in countries like the UK, the US, where they have these lotteries, and the lotteries really help. Because I know Harvard University and lots of universities were built via money made through lotteries. And if you look at the lottery system there, the system of governance and all that, they are stable of sorts. But here, with the corruption, the bribery, all that, it would really be hard to have that.
Is that really the case? Is that really the case?
Well, for me, because business obviously is my forte, the first question I'll ask is, have we had any lottery success in Nigeria? We have. We know the normal lottos here in Lagos that people partake in, and people
Baba Ijebus and all of that.
Golden Chance Lotto and the like. So if these private people are succeeding, why is it not succeeding?
My question exactly.
But you know, the thing is, you need to understand sometimes we run the risk, or we run the problem of trying to copy and paste whatever is done outside Nigeria. Nigerians think differently. You understand me? The typical Nigerian wants something that is localized to him. He wants something that he can relate with easily. If it becomes too formal or becomes too elaborate, he may shy away. The reason the Baba Ijebu and Co have been able to permeate Lagos, for example, is that they make these lottos very simple to play. They give you choice of so many games. They make you, in contrast to the national lotto that was about winning a very large sum. For these lottos, you can maybe stake 100 naira and win 20,000 naira, 10,000 naira. Those things are more
People
understandable.
Things like that easier.
Exactly, are more understandable for the man in the streets. But for something where there is one huge jackpot that
becomes too complex,
that becomes so hard to win,